The 5 things I would do if I were trying to lose weight right now. Hey everybody, welcome back to another YouTube video on my channel, my second ever YouTube video. I'm so excited to have this platform and share all the things that I'm passionate about and the things that I love with all of you guys and talk all the things are centered around lifestyle. I don't want to waste any time. I want to jump right into it because this is one of the topics that hold a very special place in my heart. And I can do a detailed video on my fitness journey if you guys would like, which I would love to do for you all. I've been on my journey for about 10 years now, coming up on my 11th year. I was overweight, borderline pre-diabetic, and I took control of everything. I just started eating healthy and being a healthier person. I just want to give people motivation that when you embark on a weight loss journey, you don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to know everything. Let me preface this completely by saying I'm not a personal trainer. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a dietitian. I'm not any of those things. I've been at this for almost 11 years now, so I know the do's, the don'ts, this and that. You have to kind of change your thinking a little bit whenever you start a weight loss journey. You don't have to necessarily just go completely to the grocery store and buy a whole new set of groceries with just vegetables and fruit and meat and cut out all the refined processed things. You don't have to. If you want to and you're strong enough to do that, your willpower is there and you're that dedicated to your journey, more power to you. That's great. But if that's necessarily not how you're set up, that's totally fine too, because that's how I was. I switched to just like whole wheat bread, eating brown rice, sweet potatoes instead of white potatoes. I made my own swaps that way. But one thing I didn't know about was the gluten that's in most of all food. And I want to share something that I'm learning right now in my nutrition class. Right now, a lot of people are on the wave of gluten-free this and that. But a lot of people don't necessarily know what it is. They just know that it's a healthier alternative versus eating the traditional regular version of whatever it is. But I want to read the actual textbook definition. Because some people have true celiac disease, which is where they cannot at all tolerate or digest gluten. Some people have a gluten allergy, and then some have a gluten sensitivity, and some have a gluten intolerance. So there's different levels and different versions of gluten no-nos, I guess is what you could call it. Which a gluten intolerance does run in my family. I know that my body doesn't process and break down gluten all the way. Food intolerance is more common than a food allergy. Food intolerance is an adverse reaction to the food that does not involve the immune system, such as lactose intolerance. Now, a food allergy is an abnormal response to a food triggered by the immune system. Main components of food allergens, immunoglobulin E and mast cells, food allergens are the fragments of food that are responsible for the allergic reactions. They consist of proteins from the food that are not broken down during the digestive system, which then cross the gastrointestinal lining to enter the bloodstream. So, with that being said, some people have a gluten allergy, some people have a gluten intolerance. The first thing I would do is go gluten-free. It's hard, to rip the Band-Aid off or to completely go cold turkey by not eating at all Chips Ahoy, Cheez-Its, granola bars, chips even. It's hard to cut those things out when you first start a weight loss journey. So number one, I would go gluten-free. That's one thing. And when you do eliminate gluten out of your diet, your skin will improve, your digestive system. Like my symptoms that I have whenever I have gluten are I become extremely lethargic. I cannot think straight. Emotionally, I become very sad. I'm very bloated. And I don't feel good. It honestly feels worse than if you've ever had a hangover. The gluten flare-ups, they're so drastic on me personally. I know every person is different, but that's definitely one thing I would do is go completely gluten-free. Just eliminate all things that typically have wheat, barley, rye in it. If you look on the ingredient label and you see those ingredients, get the next one that's gluten-free. And there are some brands that are gluten-free. Gluten-free, I will also preface by saying too, it is pricey. It is, but I've always said that you can't put a price on what goes in your body. So, food for thought. Gluten-free brands are Sayate Foods, which they were recently bought out, I think, by Lay's. But apparently they're keeping the recipes the same, which is good. Sayate for your tortilla chips. They even have a kettle chip now. So as an alternative, like Lay's chips, you could use Sayate brand, or even like your tortilla chips. They have a cassava flour chip. They even have a brand of tortillas for both burritos and just tacos, hard shell and soft shell. Second brand, Partake Foods. They have your cookies. So like they have a lot of flavors: chocolate chip, snickerdoodle, lemon, soft and chewy chocolate chip. Those are kind of hard to find though. Most stores now only carry the crunchy. But them Simple Meals, they have a gluten-free, like all gluten-free items. They even have a cheddar farmhouse cracker, which is kind of a mimic of Cheez-Its. They don't taste like Cheez-Its, but it's a really healthy and nice alternative that is gluten-free. Bob's Red Meal for your breakfast and baking items, like your oatmeals. Simple Truth at Kroger, they have a lot of gluten-free products. I don't eat too many processed things. So typically the brands that I gravitate towards when I do grocery shop and buy those things are Simple Truth Organic from Kroger. I eat their gluten-free oatmeal. It has probiotic too, which is really great for your gut health. That's the thing. Your top goal is to lose weight, but there's so much other things behind that go along with losing weight. You know, people will go on a weight loss journey. Well, I'm still big, I'm still fat, I can't lose the weight. Well, what's your gut health like? If you don't have a healthy gut and a healthy microbiome, you're going to experience bloating, fatigue. You're not going to feel motivated to want to, do the right things, make the right food choices. So keep those things in mind. And gluten is found in most processed foods. So like all the favorite processed foods, that's why you see like a lot of brands now, they have gluten-free versions. Like Chips Ahoy, Oreo has a version. I recently saw Cheez-Its has a gluten-free, which I'm over the moon about because I love. That is honestly probably my favorite snack ever is a Cheez-It. Cheez-It and Goldfish. And do y'all remember Wells? I used to get them from the Dollar Tree back when I was like in high school and I was not caring at all about my weight and stuff. I loved Wells. I loved Wells. And my dad used to always buy like the humongous milk carton looking package of the Goldfish. I used to get those all the time, the whole wheat ones, because in my mind I thought it was healthier, which I'm sure it probably isn't the regular, but whatever. Love those down. But yeah. So that's my spiel on gluten-free. I think I've talked about that enough. Any questions that you guys have about gluten intolerance or gluten-free or what it is or why it's all the hype now, like drop the questions in the comment section and I will definitely answer them. All right, so the second thing that I would do is I would go to the gym during early hours. You're trying to find your rhythm, your confidence, you're educating yourself on the machines, you want to take your time. Going early in the morning when there's not a lot of people there, you won't feel overwhelmed, you won't feel intimidated, you won't feel fearful, and you'll be able to, if you're one of those people, which is definitely how I would be, like if you want to have personal conversations with the staff, like how to use this equipment, I have this question, this and that, you can have those conversations without feeling like, oh, someone might be overhearing you, or you can just confidently talk to them. The third thing I would do is I would focus on eating more vegetables, more protein, and less carbs. Knowing what I know now, that's what I would do. Because, on the fitness and health journey, on your weight loss journey, a lot of the time people don't just say, well, this is what I was always taught. So I did CrossFit for like 2.5 years or so. And I was taught then to, the whole hand thing. So your protein, if you don't have a scale, if you can't weigh your food, because I was counting my macros then, your protein should be the size of your palm. So that's about 4 to 6 ounces is your palm. That's how much protein you should have. And then half of your plate should be fruits and or vegetables, half of it. And then low to moderate carbs. Now, when it comes to carbs, I would say pick carbs that can possibly double as another nutritional profile. So like sweet potatoes, that's your carb, and it's a source of fiber. You can do brown rice. It tastes terrible. Not even gonna lie. Not gonna lie to you. Jazz it up how you want. And I'm gonna throw in another one. I'm gonna throw in another tip. I was gonna do 5, but I'm gonna go ahead and do 6. But yes, I would eat more vegetables and proteins and less carbs. Now, I'm not saying cut out all carbs. I'm not saying, don't eat your carbs, because your carbs are an energy source if you use it as such. Now, if you're in the situation where you're even having a weight loss journey, it's because you put on too much weight. You have fat now that you want to get rid of. And when you are consuming a lot of carbs and sugar, if you're not using that as an energy source, it sits and it's stored as fat. So that's why we end up gaining weight. You have to burn more calories than you are consuming on a daily basis. That's why understanding nutrition and working out go hand in hand, because You know, if you have to fuel your body, but then you're burning it too, you got to know you're going to be hungry and you have to fuel yourself. So I would definitely say, you know, when you have moments of being hungry or you want a snack or something sweet, reach for a Greek yogurt. They have the fruit strips now that are kind of mimic fruit roll, but it's strictly fruit. So it's a healthy sugar. It's a natural sugar. It has no added sugars, which you would have to check the ingredient labels on the products you're buying for that for sure. So we got the nutrition facts, ingredients on the back. If you're someone who likes sauces and condiments, like your barbecue sauce, ketchups, and all that jazz, that's fine. That's not the problem. The problem is when you're using a lot of those, for one, on a very consistent, basically all the time basis with every meal, and if it's loaded with a lot of sugars. So when I first converted on my journey, on my weight loss journey, I swapped out pretty much everything for salsa. And when I say salsa, I mean I looked on the back of the ingredient labels, diced tomatoes, diced onions, maybe whatever the Mexican peppers are, but my salsa was exactly what I saw in the jar was exactly what was on the ingredient label. There was no added ingredients, no extra fluff, no other chemicals or preservatives in it. So I knew I was eating what I was putting on my plate. And knowing exactly what you're eating and being able to track it that way is essential. You know, it is, because when you're sitting there, you're thinking, well, dang, I'm proud of myself. I can tell a difference in how my clothes fit, or dang, what's going on? I can't really tell much of a difference. It's the small things that matter. The big things matter too, of course, but something as small as the sauce that you are putting on your foods or eating with your foods matters a lot. Let's say you could get a dipping container, like a little, like little cups you get at McDonald's and you put your ketchup in. But once that's done, don't refill it. So you have to know how to ration that serving that you have of sauce. Look at the serving sizes on the back. You know, it might say, a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, something like that. Follow that. Stick to low carb sauces. So your mustards, your hot sauces, jalapeno sauces, your srirachas, those types of sauces. You know, your barbecue sauces are going to hold, and ketchups even though it's natural. I'm going to put y'all on right now. Target Good and Gather brand is like $1.90. Their ketchup, organic ketchup, is $1.90, and it is strictly tomatoes. When you look on the back of the ingredient labels, it's tomatoes. There's no added sugar, there's no preservatives, no chemicals, there's nothing else in there. So if you are the type of person that looks for healthier, better alternatives, that's the way to go. This is probably a little controversial, and I'm not telling anybody what to do. I'm just strictly saying what I would do, knowing what I know now from my trial and error for the past 10 years. But I would go vegan. And I'll try to include some pictures here too so you guys can see. But when I was vegan, I was very lean. I was very slim. It's expected because as a vegan, and I didn't drink protein shakes at all. I was vegan for 4.5 years, and I didn't drink protein shakes. I didn't do protein supplements. I literally ate vegetables and fruit. That was it. Taco meat, I would do chopped and diced mushrooms because it gives that umami meat type texture. I would eat Beyond Meat here and there, which I know there's controversy about that, but so I was lacking protein. And when you think about fruits and vegetables, it's nutritional, it's nutritious. So it's helping with bowel movements, it's getting your vitamins and your essential minerals in. But you also do lack some of those whenever you are on a vegan diet. So you got to remember that too. But without consuming protein and consuming meat, when I was going to the gym, I was burning more than I was consuming. And when you are lifting weights as a vegan and you're not eating your protein consumption, or you're not eating an adequate amount of protein or any protein at all, you have to expect to be lean, to not have definition, to not be toned, to not have, muscle, because you're not fueling those muscle groups because you're not eating protein. So if I was wanting to lose weight right now, that's probably what I would do. Like if I was really knew that I needed to, or I really wanted to, or I was having a health scare or something, I would go vegan because I know it worked for me. I wouldn't do it again now because knowing what I know, and I know what my goals are now with my fitness and health journey. But if I were a very beginner, fish out of water, new kid on the block to weight loss, I would go vegan. And then the last one is I would have treats when I want to have them. But you got to consider everything else that I said. So making those healthier alternative swaps, going gluten-free, choosing the brands that are intentional about using cleaner ingredients in their food versus the Chips Ahoy brand or versus Nabisco or Lay's. Because there are a lot of brands now out there that are gravitating more towards the clean and the simple and shorter ingredient labels. You know, society and the world as a whole, for the most part, is making a shift. I think companies and brands are definitely starting to see that, you know, priority to create brands and be a brand that is about making sure that consumers are buying products that they can be comfortable with eating. And, you know, they don't have to worry so much about, well, it has this, this, and this in it. But to anyone on a weight loss journey, a fitness journey at all, I wish you all of the best of luck. If you take any advice from anything that I've shared, or if you want to share where you are in your fitness journey, whatever the case might be, I will be happy to read anything in the comments and, you know, have those conversations with you guys and banter and go back and forth. But more than anything, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I obviously was very enthusiastic and so excited to talk to you guys about this. So thank you so much for being here and watching my videos. You guys do not know how much it means to me. I'm so excited to grow on this journey. And if you have not already, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I appreciate you guys so much. See you in the next video.